Irrefutable fact number 1. Homosexual behavior in animals. The homosexual agenda would have you believe two things. They would have you believe that you, a human, are just an animal. The second thing is they will have you believe that homosexuality is observed in animals. This is a lie. You could look here on Wikipedia, which is full of pro-homosexual propaganda. They will state that penguins are homosexual. This is very famous with some of the penguins in the zoos here in New York and in San Francisco. Somehow, in their illogical, sick mind, observing two male penguins taking turns nesting an egg while the female is absent justifies the perverse sexual acts of two male humans or two female humans that were never observed in penguins at all. The fact about penguins is the female, after she lays an egg, will go hunt for food to replenish herself. The male then nests the egg. In every one of these cases, you will note that the penguins were in captivity nonetheless. These two male penguins at these zoos were never observed to have anal sex, or anything even close to a sex act. Therefore, their comparison is totally moot. Elephants. This is their moot explanation for homosexuality in elephants. They will say that these elephants have been observed to have companionships, saying that one male often extending his trunk along the other's back and pushing forward with his tusks to signify his intention to mount. However, see, these people say they observe this. However, they never have proven that one male elephant has had anal sex with another. If they've observed them doing these, signifying their intention to mount, then how come there's no evidence of them actually having anal sex? Likewise, between two female elephants, there is never evidence of one female elephant using a hoof as replacement to the male sex organ into another female elephant. You could just duplicate this with giraffes, horses, whatever, all these animals that they claim to be homosexual in nature. They're using moot comparisons that have nothing to do with sex acts. Therefore, the comparison is entirely moot. Only humans force sex acts between the same sexes. It takes force to do that. You need artificial lubricant to use the anus in place of the female's sex organ. Between two female animals, they just don't have any capability of using a substitute for the male sex organ. When you look for such evidence that they say they have, they always show animals attempting to mount another one. They'll say this is two males. However, all of us that own domestic cats or dogs have noticed they will act strangely at times and mount the same sex. However, everyone knows who isn't lying that the male never actually penetrates the other male's anus. The female doesn't do anything to the other female. These same animals that you observe to be doing what seemed to be a homosexual act almost always will mate successfully with the opposite sex when one is present. Now, I am going to crush the lie of the homosexual agenda using their own logic to justify homosexuality in humans by comparing them to animals. There is documented proof of cannibalism and rape in the animal kingdom, but that doesn't make it right for humans. While some animals, like the lion, eat their own young, neither supporters or opponents of quote-unquote gay rights have used this as an argument in favor of infanticide or cannibalism, because that would be stupid. Yet, the same comparison for what animals do is what homosexuals are so desperate to use to justify their own chosen and or developed behavior. Here is the explanation of why vile humans are trying to make the comparison between humans and animals. Satan would like you to believe that you are just an animal. That is a lie. Romans 1 explains the process. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Behold, that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God had showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even as eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because that, when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lusts of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. It's the key word right there. Dishonor their own bodies. Who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did it change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burn in their lust one towards another. Men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. That's the key word right there. They did not want to retain God in their knowledge, so God gave them over to a reprobate mind. And that's how they're able to do these things which are not convenient. They're unseemly to those of us that are not reprobates. What they do is disgusting and it's unseemly. Forcing somebody's anus to substitute for the female sex organ is unseemly, and it's not convenient. You have to be vile. You have to be given over to even want to do those things. So if you live that as a lifestyle and you're not ashamed of it, you're a reprobate.